You're live on YouTube.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben Driscoll. I am the Chair of the Human Services Committee. It is about 1:30 on the 24th of January. I'd like to welcome also the other members of the committee. That is Supervisor Frazier, Supervisor McDevitt, Supervisor Hogan, Bramer. I'm sorry. Frazier, Sieber, McGowan, McDevitt, Hogan, and Supervisor Bruno. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the committee meeting minutes from this past meeting. Did I see Supervisor Sieber's hand up? Okay, and first, do I have a second on that, please?
Second that.
Supervisor Hogan, thank you. As is the practice of the Human Service Committee, we will, oh, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So moved. As is the practice of the Human Services Committee in at least the past 2 years, we'll be hearing from Countryside Adult Home, then we will go to Veteran Services and conclude with Department of Social Services. Thank you all for waiting patiently. Amy, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. So I'm here to request a transfer of $18,005 from 603-3635 to 6030-410. The money is currently in a deferred revenue line 691. This is the equal award. I feel like I bring the equal award every time I come to committee. And this is for the residents' personal needs and activities, but the funds were received so late in the year that we weren't able to use them by the time we were trying to get different quotes and such.
Do I have a request to bring request number 1 to the floor? Supervisor Frazier, a second. Oh, Supervisor McDevitt, thank you. Any discussion? Questions for Amy? I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So moved. Number 2, please.
The second request is to fill the full-time cook manager. This position is in charge of all of the dietary needs of Countryside as well as the meal site program that we run at Countryside. It is 50% reimbursable.
Thank you. A motion to bring to the floor.
I'll make that.
Supervisor Frazier, and I thought I saw Supervisor Sieber on the second. Any discussion or questions for Amy? I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So moved. Some of the discussion items, resolution request for Form 7.
That's just a transfer.
Oh, that's the transfer. Okay. So the census report and the overtime, if you could, please.
So our census is 36. We continue to admit and get referrals and admit who's appropriate. And then our overtime ended out the year actually less than last year at 1,848.30 or 1,848.85, excuse me. And we did have holidays, bereavement, vacation time. So we had a lot of time to cover. I'm very pleased overall how well we did to come in under
Great.
for another year of the pandemic.
Good. Does anyone have any questions or comments on either of those 2 charts? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If Denise is ready, we'll go to Veteran Services.
Good afternoon, everyone.
If you could, I think we have one intent to fill request.
Yes, one intent to fill a benefits, veterans benefits counselor. Regular full-time. It's non-reimbursable, but it is included in the budget.
A motion to bring that to the floor. Supervisor Frazier. Do I have a second? Supervisor McDevitt? Okay. Do we have any discussion or questions for Denise regarding that particular request? Hearing nothing, I will call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we could go through the department overview, including the 3-year history claims report, then also the transportation overview. I know we've had some changes to that, and also the leadership training. That would be appreciated.
Thank you, Supervisor. I have brought this before to committee, and I just want to make sure that everyone understands the claims, the 3-year look back in the claims. So for the years of 2019, 2020, and our current year just ending, and I say ending because I could still be completing claims on those as we speak. The column labeled difference and the column labeled retro, the combination of those two amounts is the dollar for dollar non-taxable amount of money that has been awarded on a federal level from the VA and is now being used by clients within the county. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was clear on that when you're looking at that you're adding the two columns, the two end columns to come up with the total figure of awarded claims to veterans.
Any questions or comments on that claim report? Okay.
Transportation, I would like to say, it's a little late now, but I would like to say farewell to Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson retired back in, I believe, October. He had 11 years and 9 months of service with the county. And he stayed on longer than he really wanted to, just so that we could backfill the position and we wouldn't be left stranded with not enough drivers to transport our veterans to the VA hospital in Albany, along with Ron's service. Ron's service also retired with 9 years of service as a veteran services driver. So we do appreciate all they did while they were with us.
So noted.
Also, along with that, I gave an outline as the last 3 years of the passenger rate. And you'll notice that the rate for the 2020, 2021 of the number of passengers being transported is much lower than what was previously in 2019. And that is also due to our limited capacity. We transport only up to 4 passengers and the driver, so 5 total. Due to COVID, everyone must be masked, and they are also spaced within our 11 passenger vans. So just for the safety and welfare of our passengers and the driver. So the numbers will be lower until at which point in time we are no longer under any kind of restriction or fear of contracting COVID, and then we would be able to go back up to full capacity.
And if you could report on an upcoming peer-to-peer program, please.
Sure. Let's see here. So the peer-to-peer program at this time, as Rob York stated previously today, the RFP deadline had closed on December 2nd of 2021, and 3 companies, and I'll reiterate, SUNY Adirondack Vets House, and People USA applied to that RFP. And currently, right now, we're in the creation of establishing a selection committee between Warren and Washington counties to include supervisors. And at that point, we will then review those applications and select an award to one of those entities. But in the meantime, I'm continuing on with whatever's possible for me to do, like we'll say on the side. I'm have already been approved and going to do another equine therapy program with Adaptable stables over in Comstock. And what that is we'll do 2 veterans allowed, because that's their maximum allowable for a class. They go to Adaptable for an hour and a half once a week, and therapeutically embraced with learning horsemanship, and then the comfort of whether or not they are able to then transition over an 8-week period to bonding with their horse and being able to ride it. So some of the veterans who have previously went through this are disabled in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's not necessarily a mental health disability, but it could be a physical disability. So it's really getting, there's people there to help them and be able to do the whole program from start to finish.
Thank you.
Mhm.
In the past, I've asked Denise to include members of this committee on the email list that she sends out to all of the veterans that her office serves. If you're not getting those emails about opportunities and special programs and services, just get in touch with me and I'd be happy to get that information over to the Veteran Services Office. Is there any other questions or comments for Denise before we get on to Department of Social Services? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Mr. Chairman,
Who called me?
this Rachel.
Okay, all right, thanks.
I'm sorry. Denise probably already left, or if she's still there.
Still there.
I know it's tough with the hands electronically. I just wanted to highlight at the very end of last year, Denise coordinated and helped with a New Year's Eve or a Christmas Eve's march in Glens Falls 5K. She did an incredible job with that, but still continues to fight so hard to get resources to veterans and to recognize the multitude of different services that are in our community, but also sharing that publicly. And I just wanted to echo your comments, Mr. Chairman, and let Denise know how much that means. I appreciate, Mr. Chairman, the information that you send out to the committee, giving us those updates. And I think it would be helpful for the full board to also get those types of newsletters and information. But I, again, just want Denise to know publicly and on the record how appreciative I know I am and the constituents here in Queensbury that I hear from. So thank you, and thank you for your efforts to recognize veterans, Mr. Chairman.
I appreciate the comments and we'll get those additional BOS member names onto her email list. Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon.
We've got a number of requests, but why don't you start us with request number 1. If you think that any of these are connected or related to each other, you can just kind of let me know, and if members of the committee want to combine those, they can just raise their hand. We'll do that. But request number 1 is a notice of intent to fill.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, or I should say good afternoon, everyone. Before I get started, I'd like to just welcome the new members to the committee. Chairwoman Sieber, I should say Supervisor Sieber, Supervisor McDevitt, Supervisor Hogan and Bruno. I think all of you have been on this committee before, so welcome back. Appreciate it. Would you like me, Chairman, to go through each individual one, or do you just want me to outline any that might be of interest? Because I can quickly go through each one if that would be helpful.
Supervisor Hogan?
Can I bring 1 through 5 to the floor?
Thank you. Yes, you can.
Perfect.
If you could just kind of do a Reader's Digest version
Perfect.
of
Yeah,
1
that-
through
that-
5
that
for us,
makes
please.
sense. Thank you. The first one we have is an intent to fill for a social welfare examiner. This one was due to a retirement. I think recently, if you looked at our social media for Warren County, you've seen a couple retirements on there lately of long-term employees. So we're looking to backfill that position. The second position is a social welfare examiner for a temporary assistant unit. This is for a lateral. And the other ones are for a social welfare examiner. That is also for a retirement. And 4 and 5 are backfills due to promotions.
Any questions or comments on, a motion to bring 1 through 5 to the floor, please?
Thought I did that.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Did we get a second on it? Okay. Can I get a second on Supervisor Hogan's motion? Supervisor Frazier. Okay. Any discussion or comments about any of 1 through 5? Okay. Not hearing anything, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So moved. On to number 6.
Would you like me to do 6 through 10 together like the last last group?
Any opposition to that?
No.
Okay, we'll do 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 together, please.
Okay.
Supervisor Driscoll,
Yes.
before we do that, can I just ask a quick question on
Oh,
6?
sure. Sure.
We're creating and deleting. Can that really be lumped with 7 through 10?
Okay, yes. I guess I'm checking with Amanda and yes, it can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Number 6 is to fill a position of principal account clerk. We're deleting a senior support investigator. The benefit of that would be more support and training available for that unit. That would increase productivity. This is also a reimbursable position. Number 7 is a notice of intent to fill for senior account clerk in our child support unit, grade 7. Position is mandated and reimbursed. Request number 8 is a notice of intent to fill support investigator number 4 in the child support unit. This was due to a promotion. The last 2 notice of intents to fill I have are for position of caseworker 15 in the CPS unit, Child Protective Services. This is due to a resignation. And the last one I have is a notice of intent to fill a position of secretary in our legal unit. This was also due to a promotion.
Motion to bring those 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to the floor, please. Supervisor Frazier. Supervisor McDevitt on the second. Any questions on any of those requests? Supervisor Sieber.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this particular issue, but Commissioner, have you, Mr. Chairman, if I may ask the Commissioner?
Sure, please.
Thank you. Commissioner, were exit interviews offered? I know that, it's not unlikely to have high turnover rates or just turnover rates in general in any of our departments, but particularly DSS. I would just like to get a handle this year on perhaps some of those common themes as they relate to human services, and having perhaps either that our chairman kept up to speed on those exit interviews or some type of a reporting quarterly on those common denominators so we can take a look at where we can improve as well.
Yeah, we do offer exit interviews per county policy. We're actually required to do that when someone leaves the employment of the county. So we do that. If we have a person who doesn't want to do that, we do notify human resources. So we are compliant with that. It is also helpful for us to know if there's certain things that, we can learn from an exiting employee about how we might be able to improve things going forward. So we do those.
May I ask a follow-up, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Commissioner, it's my understanding that those exit interviews are typically offered by the HR department with an option of either having the county administrator, county chair, personnel chair, or the department head there. So you said I just want to make sure that those options are being afforded. Sometimes they're in writing, sometimes they're in person. Could we make sure that we're tracking those monthly so that that could be something that we can take a look upon this year?
Sure. What we do is when we, and I say we, DSS, I can't speak for the rest of the county, but we offer there's actually a form that we use, which we fill out and offer to the departing employee, and we work with human resources to make sure that they know if someone wanted an exit interview or not.
Okay, so perhaps, Mr. Chairman, that's something you could work with your committees on, but with the commissioner in particular, to be able to communicate back with us what those common denominators are with HR.
Thank you. My recommendation will be I'll speak with our county administrator and ask that possibly it's an issue that's discussed at department head meeting that he convenes, I think, on a monthly basis, so that we're consistent across the board with all the departments.
Right, I'm not, if I may, I just clarify my request.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a little more detailed information as it relates to the Department of Social Services. So I understand what the policy is throughout the county, but if you could dig a little deeper as it relates to those exit interviews and communicate them with us.
I'll have a discussion this week or next with the commissioner, certainly. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so I will call the question. All in favor of approving 6 through 10, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So moved on those. We've got request number 11, please.
Thank you for that. The last request I have here on my action items is to increase our revenue and expenses in the amount of $52,020 to reflect 2022 monies received by the New York State Office of Children and Family Services for our safe harbor programming in Warren County in response to child trafficking and exploitation.
Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Frazier and Supervisor Hogan, please. Thank you. Comments or questions? Not hearing anything. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So moved. Discussion items, Chris.
I got a couple items here that I'd like to just discuss. First of all, as you all know, we've been working on a youth board merger with Washington County. That is going very well. We're almost to the point where we're firming up everything on that. So look forward to hearing more on that. I will also be bringing Mike Gray, who's the youth board director from Washington County, to one of our future meetings here to introduce him to everyone. The other item I have is there was a question from Supervisor Hogan in regards to childcare and some of the initiatives, or how does childcare work, or funding or grants or anything like that in Warren County. I did send you a detailed message, Supervisor Hogan, and I CC'd the chairman as well this morning, so you should have that in your email. We do work with Southern Adirondack Child Care Network in Warren County. They are the ones who recruit, train, and certify our daycares. I guess the last thing I have is a little bit of a fiscal update. Julie couldn't be here today, but I did speak with her this morning. She said that she wants everyone to know that the revenue for 2021 has been excellent, way over projected. We're still expending for December, and we'll have a better overall picture next month, but confident we'll be well under budget for 2021.
Supervisor Hogan, I apologize for not seeing you initially.
Thank you. Chris, I'm really sorry I did not get that email. Would you mind trying to send it again, please?
Sure,
Thank you.
you got it.
Additionally, Chris gave me a flyer that the Southern Adirondack Child Care Network puts out. I will ask Amanda's office to stick one of these in all of the members' mailboxes so you can pick them up at your convenience.
I believe those are, if it's the same flyer we saw last week, they're being customized. Does it say a specific community on it?
Serving Warren, Washington, and Hamilton counties. That's
Okay, that's a different flyer then. Okay, thanks.
any other matters to come before the committee. Supervisor Sieber.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have two, please, as it relates to this. My two requests would be, one, as it relates to a possible proclamation to come out of this committee, and two, on a workshop training. I'll take the easier one first. This month, January, is Anti-Stalking Month. It's Stalking Awareness Month, and I would very much appreciate consideration for two proclamations to be forwarded to our full board. Although this one's a little belated, as it would be approved in February. Stalking is continually, sadly, a problem all across the nation, but also here within not only the Northern District, but Warren County. And I think Amanda does an excellent job with drafting these proclamations, and perhaps this committee would be appropriate to address a Stalking Awareness Month, which the Department of Justice just sent out a press release about information as well on that. The second proclamation, as it relates to proclamations, would be as we're moving into Super Bowl month, and I'm sure many of us saw exciting games yesterday, and we might wonder why human trafficking, which would be in line with the discussion we just had about OCFS and the Safe Harbor program as a response to child trafficking and exploitation. But like many large-scale sporting events, the Super Bowl is no different. It's notorious to be susceptible to human trafficking. And currently there are over 40 million children, women, and men being trafficked or trapped in modern-day slavery, making it the second largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the world. The number of people enslaved today would fill every NFL stadium almost 20 times. And given the information that we've just received on number 11, and while I'm not aware of our specific numbers here in Warren County, I'm sure our commissioner could provide that to us at a later time. What I would very much appreciate is with that proclamation, a separate one that would address the efforts of raising awareness towards human trafficking, particularly those of minors, but also of adults.
Thank you for your comments. I've had similar discussions with the executive director of the White House, and it's not exclusive to just major cities. It's rural communities, suburban communities, everywhere basically. And I will work with Amanda's office to make sure that gets done in a timely and efficient manner. Thank you.
Thank you. That would be as it relates to the proclamations. As you then
Yep.
know, we are a pass-through district here in the Northern District of New York. And that brings me to my second request. Our standing rules do indicate that from time to time, the chairman of the board may call on a workshop for a multitude of different issues. I would ask, Mr. Chairman, that you work with our chair of the board for a workshop that would highlight the unique position the Northern District where we lie within is in as a pass-through district as it relates to human trafficking, and perhaps a workshop that would highlight the problems that we do have, both with items that we're now seeing the county accept dollars in a request with OCFS on child trafficking and exploitation, along with human trafficking, both sex human trafficking and labor human trafficking. It would be an informative time to be able to not only educate our community, but our supervisors about this very real concern. And I would appreciate just an opportunity for you to speak with our chairman of the board about a possible training during a workshop of the board on that topic.
I've got that in my book to do. I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Supervisor Hogan.
Thank you. Is Christian still here?
Yes, I am.
Hi, I got that email. Thank you to whomever forwarded that to me. The meeting that Supervisor Leggett and I were both in earlier or last week, they said this money was through a FEMA grant. Do you have any idea what that is to provide for childcare?
That is something that we would not be doing through DSS.
They
We have-
very specifically said it was DSS money from a FEMA grant. Is Supervisor Leggett in the room? He can nod. Yes, that's what we were told. So I'm just curious what it was.
I have not seen anything like that come across my desk yet. I certainly can check around a little bit for you and get back to you on that. The grants
Okay, thanks.
we generally have are the ones that I included in that email. But there quite possibly could be something out there new that I'm not aware of yet.
Well,
So I-
she said it was a FEMA grant from the 2019 storm.
Okay, yeah, this is related to FEMA. This grant, this is the one. If you look at that, you will notice that it does mention the storms in 2019. So this is one, but we don't get the money directly from FEMA. We get it through from the state, and we do the pass through. So that is the one.
The SACCN, or I'm sorry, that's Southern Ed. Which one? You sent me the OCFS?
There should be a commissioner's memorandum there. One of those documents, and that will outline the exact amount that we got. And it will also explain why it was administered.
Got it. Great. Thank
Right.
you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
You'll see on there that it'll mention the dates.
Got it. Yep. There it is. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Anything else, folks? Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Supervisor Frazier? And someone else has to be second. Okay, Supervisor Seaver, thank you very much. Good. Thank you very much.